Hey guys, this is Luke from Make Masking Optional. I'm here with Shannon Johnson, Zone 3 candidate for Billings Public Schools Board of Trustees. You're not going to want to miss this interview. Hey everybody, this is Luke from Make Masking Optional. I'm here with Brooke, my wife. And today we've got the pleasure of speaking with Shannon Johnson, who is candidate for Zone 3 for Billings Board of Trustees for Billings Public Schools. Shannon, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good. Thanks. We just wanted to have an opportunity to have a conversation and let people get to know you a little bit more.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay.
Right.
Can I go
Brooke, first question.
Okay. So Shannon, there has been some discussion with BEA members, and there's concern that the new candidates, perhaps you or specifically or all of them, are going to work really hard on trying to micromanage the teachers' day-to-day curriculum, expecting them to turn lesson plans in every day, expect them to teach the same at the same time, teach the exact same thing, no room for a different instruction. Is there any truth to that?
Nope, there's not even a little bit of truth to that. Actually, I'm glad this question has come up because I would really love to clarify. When I say that I would like parental involvement in the schools, what I mean is that parents are allowed to come in to visit the classrooms, to have discussions with the teachers if there's concerns for their child. If their children are coming home and they're saying, we heard this today in class, that the parent feels comfortable to go in and have that relationship with the teacher to clarify maybe what was the lesson and what exactly are you trying to say. I certainly don't have time to micromanage anyone. I am a director and I manage managers, so I am not in the game of micromanaging anybody. But I can tell you that what I miss so much is having that relationship with my kids' teachers. I don't think that that is present, and I think that that's a culture that has been created partially by the school board, that parents and teachers should be enemies. That's exactly what I mean by having parental control, is I don't want us to be enemies. I want us to have a partnership, and I want the board to foster and encourage that relationship and open communication so that we are transparent with one another about what's going on with our kids. It takes a village, everyone knows that. So it's not about parents' control, it's about parents being involved as a partner, and that's 50-50.
Good. Well, we're going to jump into a topic of kind of community relations. And there have been some criticisms that have been lobbed at those of us who have opposed mask mandates from the beginning. And kind of that we're single issue candidates, that we're running based on one issue. And then because of that, they also feel that the criticism solely really relies around the fact that they think that we are anti-education. Those who oppose mask mandates have been labeled as anti-education, anti-this. Would you consider yourself anti-education?
I do not. I have a doctorate level education. I hold multiple certifications, certificates, and all sorts of achievements and licenses. So I am definitely all about education because I'm a perpetual student. It's sort of a joke in my family. They think I'm going to continue to go and get another PhD. But no, I absolutely am for education 100%.
Okay, next. Do you think that you're qualified to serve on the board? If so, what kind of things have you come across in your business or home life or whatever that you think would make you qualified to be a school board member?
Well, I would like to make the point really quickly that there are no required qualifications to being a school board trustee other than you have to live in your zone for a full year. So you could move from out of state, live in your zone for a year, and then apply or file to become a candidate. So there isn't anything required other than you're just a community member who cares and you want to see an impact in that community. So I want to just kind of put that out there. Apart from that, I do feel that I am qualified because I have sat on multiple boards. I've actually sat on the Family Violence Task Force. I've sat on the Nova Children's Community Theater boards. And I'm very familiar and well-versed with Robert's Rules. I use that in my day-to-day where I work at SCL Health. And it's basically a way of life for me. I am constantly in meetings. I'm constantly running meetings. I'm leading groups of people at the system level for SCL Health, which means at our headquarters in Denver. And so I definitely feel that I have all of the qualifications necessary. In addition to that, my career history does include financial planning, as well as I'm a paralegal, so I've had some work in the judicial system. So I feel that all of that will pertain to any topic that arises on the school board.
Good.
That's good.
So along those lines, the question that I think of is, what do you think it communicates to the community when the school board always has a unanimous vote? So we've seen since my time, since I've been watching the school board meetings the last couple of years, I rarely see any discussion, if any at all. It's usually what happens is, the agenda item comes up and there's usually a department or a individual or a trustee that brings the agenda item up and then usually has a recommendation attached to it. And then there's usually an unanimous vote immediately following. What kind of messaging does that send to the community?
I 100% agree with you, and that was my exact statements after the last 2 in-person meetings that we attended. There's no discussion. Where's the questions?
Yeah.
I have them. Why don't any of the other board members? I understand that they get the board packet on a Friday, so they're probably reviewing it over the weekend, as I would do. And the public really does have that opportunity because you can go in and look at all of the attachments. But we're not allowed to ask all the questions. So where are the questions, and who's leading it? Is there a meeting before the meeting? These are the things that I would like to know, because it confounds me. And I think what it does is the way that one school board member or school board trustee put it was that it hinders education or the progressiveness of the education if we are not a unified board. I vehemently disagree with that. The purpose of a board is to bring on a collective version of voices, like a lot of different voices from the community, to make decisions together and come to a consensus. That's fair and impartial. That's equality. And I'm going to use the right word here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that a unified board sends a message of just do as I say, and don't question the narrative, just comply. That's what I think that sends the message of.
To the community, to me, it feels like it's a rubber stamp committee. And I feel like if they all are in unison and they all agree all the time, then the board is unnecessary. Just have
Correct.
the superintendent make the decisions.
Correct. And that's essentially what they've done, right? They gave their voice away to the superintendent. They literally gave their voice away. So why do we need the other 9 of them? Why not just let him lead everything? And if that's the way that it's got to be, well, what's the purpose of this board? Right now, they are not acting like a board.
Agreed.
I would agree with that. Okay, so you already kind of talked about it a little bit, but what kind of things do you think that you could encourage from the board standpoint to create more of a parent partnership with education?
Really great question. I think the key word here is create. And I believe that there are creative solutions out there. I am the type of person that I'm very persistent. If somebody says, no, you can't do that, then I find a way around it if I think it's important enough. And I get creative to do that. There's always seems to be walls that go up in history, right? But I believe that there's innovation. I believe that we need to be thinking along those lines. And in order to create that partnership with parents and teachers, let's sit down together and listen to both sides and see where the barriers are, and then try to see how we can bridge that together. How can we come up with a creative solution to eliminate polarities that we're facing? Because the teachers have a perspective too, and I fully recognize that. They have a difficult job. Parents sometimes aren't easy. I can understand that. Both sides get frustrated, but if we removed the fear of one another and stopped looking at each other like we were enemies and say, okay, let's brainstorm a creative solution to this, I think that we would have a lot more forward movement than we're seeing right now.
Shannon, thanks so much for your time. It was a pleasure to sit down and visit with you and hear some of your thoughts and ideas that you have. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Shannon Johnson, straight from the horse's mouth. She is pro-public education. She's a friend of education. She is pro-student. She's pro-parent. She's pro-teacher. And I think that she has earned the right for you to vote for her. And I hope that you will vote for her on May 3rd, 2022. Watch for your ballots. They're going to be coming in the mail. Middle of April, they'll be mailed out. And when you see that, put the checkbox next to Shannon Johnson. Shannon, how can they connect with you?
You can connect with me on my website, johnson4schools.com.
Fantastic. And if you want to, you can jump on and watch these videos and see the interviews with the other candidates at makemaskinoptional.com. And we hope to see some new faces on the school board come.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.